the elemental energy known as fire. What this element is usually invoked or cultivated for is for warmth or heat. It's associated with the practice of tumo breathing used by yogis and monks in the past. And what they do is they'll visualize a fire in the stomach area of their body, or the center sexual area. And as they breathe in several different cycles, they see this fire expand to the outsides of the human aura, like they're engulfed in flames. And so when they do this, they can go to cold environments like a snowy mountaintop or somewhere where there's a lot of cold energy where they can cultivate this heat and actually melt the snow around them from cultivating this heat within their own body. A practitioner of this kind of elemental cultivation is a person known as Wim Hof, who's been able to develop a breathing system himself that he gives in an app that he created, as well as some different talks that he's talked on podcasts and stuff like that, where he talks about cultivating this energy force into the body to help regulate the body, as well as its hormones and stuff like that, to fight off infections. He's also been able to break many records involving cold environments, where he ran a marathon in the snow with only shorts and no shoes on. So he was pretty much just bare skin running in the snow doing a marathon there. But he's done some other very hard things to accomplish through using his breathing technique, and I would suggest looking him up for you to research for yourself and see if that's a method that you want to start using in your own life. But what fire is used for is also for transformation, cleansing, destruction, protection. It's forceful. It's used for renewal and rebirth, banishment, purification, cultivating sexual vigor. It's used for warding, developing a truth and hope, power, and control of lust. As it's also associated with determination, courage, vigor, strength, vitality, people who take action, passionate people, as well as inspiring self-motivators, and people with a lot of willpower. Other people also associated with this are very energetic, ambitious, visionaries, enthusiastic, productive, confident, daring, decisive, hardworking, and in leadership roles. If this element happens to be out of balance, it could be expressed through excessive anger or a temper. You could be obsessive or jealous. You could also be impatient, very aggressive, or lack of self-control and very overpowering. You could also be conceited, domineering, or egotistical. But this element is closely associated with the spiritual realm. Whenever fire is ignited, it pretty much dissipates into the ether, and it closely resembles how the life force energy actually moves throughout the universe and stuff like that. It really closely resembles fire and that igniting force that enlivens the human body and also animals and stuff like that. But the zodiacal signs associated with the fire element are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and the planets are Mars and the Sun, which are associated with the fire element. There's certain positive and negative aspects of all of these, the signs and the planets, that you could also use with the fire element to cultivate. And I'll go into those different aspects in a different video, going over all the zodiacal signs and the aspects associated with them, as well as the planets as well. But the creatures or the elementals associated with the fire element are the salamanders. The season is summer and the direction is south. The color most closely associated with fire is red. You could also use orange, but I believe that red is a better color to symbolize the fire element. And the platonic solid associated with the fire element is the tetrahedron. So whenever you're performing any of the practices in the in the video where I talk about how to invoke and banish the elements, the one where I talk about visualizing a sphere, you could actually visualize a tetrahedron above you, before you, or within you, and you would focalize the fire chi life force energy into the center of the tetrahedron and ignite it to where there's a fire in the middle of it, and see it expand out to all the sides of the tetrahedron to where it's engulfed in flame. And then you could see a sphere form around that tetrahedron also, if you want to do that, glows a brilliant aura that's red, and you would pack as much energy into it to where this aura grows as brightly as possible, and that fire becomes as bright as you can possibly make it whenever you're forcing and drawing this energy into that shape while you're trying to invoke and banish these energies. But the god names and the archangel, angel, intelligence, and the king associated with fire, the god name is Yahweh Vadhe Zabaoth, or Yahweh Zabaoth. The archangel is Michael. The angel is Aral, or Aral. And then you have the intelligence, I believe, is Seraph, or Seraph. And then you have the king, which is Jin, Djin. And I'll leave a chart for y'all to look. I also posted it on the Hierarchy of Spirits post on my page, and you can find how they're spelt down below on the bottom of that page for y'all to see and to write down for yourselves if you want. But the chakra points associated with the fire element are the solar plexus, or the heart chakra. In the middle pillar exercise, the heart chakra is associated with the fire element. With the 7 chakra system, if you're doing it along the spine from the root chakra to the crown, the solar plexus chakra is what's associated with the fire element. And you could either pull the fire element into that solar plexus chakra or the heart chakra, just depending on which system you're working with or which one you feel more affinity for. And if this element happens to be out of balance, the other elements have to be increased in order to bring balance to these aspects in yourself. The opposite element, or the element of water, is usually lacking, which is causing these different things as far as excessive anger or impatience through the fire element. You need to cultivate the water element to help balance that out. But usually you have to work through either the earth or air element, whichever one you find more affinity for. And then work with increasing the water element after that to bring the fire element into balance. But you could always perform the LBRP, or Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, with the intention to balance all the elements while you're performing the ritual. And once you perform it, invoking the god names for the pentagrams and then also the archangels, you could also invoke the god names through the kings associated with whichever element you're working with on each of the different quarters of the space that you're working in, for east, west, south, and north. So for south, you would invoke the god name Yahweh Zabaoth, and then down to Jin, or the king, and that would help you to help master and control the element of fire, as well as promoting the positive and negating or banishing away the negative aspects of the fire element within you. But that's pretty much it as far as the fire element is concerned. If you liked this video, or you found that it was very informational or brought some value to you, go ahead and leave me a like down below. And if you have any questions, or if you want to leave some feedback, or if you have any topics you want me to address in a later video, go ahead and comment down below as well. And subscribe to the channel for further content in the future. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.